there. Welcome back to another episode of the podcast. Thank you for being here. I do appreciate it. It has been a doozy of a week, let me tell you. And I got it started off on Sunday, recording the video that just came out yesterday. Well, of course, I have to break down the fourth wall. I'm recording this on Tuesday, which means I filmed it 2 days ago. And it's coming out in 2 days, but when you hear this, it's Thursday or later, so it just came out on Wednesday. Well, fuck it. I don't know why I do this to myself, or why I do this to you. Why must I explain it every single time? I don't know why. Point is, filmed the new video, and it was centered around my birthday and these free rewards that I get from certain apps on my birthday. Various restaurants that offer up some free goodies, like a free burrito at Moe's, which is the full size. I ain't no kid size burrito right there. That's a gigantic burrito. A free 6-piece boneless wings, or traditional if you like to work for your food. Yep, shots fired. Jersey Mike subs. So many goodies there, and it's all in this video. And I got to tell you guys that I was struggling hard on Sunday. I didn't want to get my ass out of bed, and I couldn't really figure out like the format of how I wanted to film this particular video. And it had it not been for my wife to kick me in the ass, it may not have even happened in the first place. You see, this is the problem that I deal with regularly, and that is, you know, my mental my mind games, if you will, that kind of play tricks on me. And it's like, well, you're a piece of shit, you're never gonna amount to anything, why are you wasting your time, why do this, we don't know how it's gonna turn out. All these thoughts, like, it's just like, it just goes on and on and on. And then eventually I just like, I overpower it somehow, and I end up doing like what I need to do. But it is very brutal at times to try and just get my mind to cooperate with my heart, with my passion, with what I want to do. And I have a feeling that those of you listening out there can certainly relate. I mean, I cannot be the only one that just lets his mind tell him, you're not going to do this, you can't do this, you suck, you're the worst, yada, yada, yada. I know these things aren't true, but it's very hard to battle these mental demons at times when they try to hold you down. It's a lot like my health, you know, like I want to work out. I want to eat better during the week. I want to do all these things. They all sound great on paper, but then trying to get over the mental block to actually take that next leap and do it, it's a totally different story. So we went out, we filmed the video. My wife filmed everything. Kudos to her. You know, and I'm kind of a stickler a lot of times for, you know, the right look, the right audio, which I'm still figuring out the audio. I feel like the audio could be a little bit better really in all of my applications when it comes to video, but I'm still learning that whole aspect of it. But like, you know, it's got to be the Sony camera. It's got to be, you know, it's got to have a look. It's got to have the sound. We missed a little bit on the sound. Some of the framing of the video could have been better. There was a couple shots that I had set up that were a little bit blown out, but luckily because the A7S III has that 10-bit color, I could drag down the exposure a little bit and bring some of those backgrounds back, because I want to say there was 2 different shots in this video where it was just like blown way out. It was just, oof, it looked horrendous. And I'm not saying that, you know, the new version is perfect, but it's watchable. And to be truthful, most people, they're watching these videos on their phone. They don't give a shit what it looks like as far as the, you know, the camera quality and all that. I could have shot it on my phone. Most people aren't going to know the difference, but I do. I'm like the minority of people that actually watch YouTube on their TV. So when I watch it, I want, you know, the crystal clarity. It's like my pal, Mike, he tells me, you know, or he told me once before, like, your quality is so crispy that I could see the lint on your shirt. And I freaking died. And then I went back and I watched some of that, and he was absolutely right. And when I say died, I wasn't offended. I was like laughing, because that, in some small way, I take that as a compliment. Like, you thought that the quality of the video was so clear, so pristine, that you could see the lint on my shirt. And that just tells me, wow, I'm doing something. Because, you know, like, a lot of people in the genre that Larry and I do, the food genre, or even some people in the travel genre, which is a great interest of mine, you know, it's not that it's crappy quality, but I think a lot of people, they're using like GoPros, they're using their phones. All of this is fine, by the way. It's totally like, use what you have and get started. Just make stuff. That's the most important thing. And then once you determine, hey, I'm really into this, I'm dedicated. Okay, now I'm going to think about investing in some better gear and things of that nature. But use what you have. If you want to podcast on your phone, podcast on your phone. You want to make videos on your phone, make videos on your phone. But if you feel called to create, use what you have. Don't think, well, I just need to wait till I get this or wait till I get that. Start developing a habit and being consistent on making things, and make sure it's something that you really want to do. And when you reach that point, then you start upgrading stuff. Okay. I had a point here like 2 minutes ago. Oh yeah. So a lot of people in the genre that we create in, you know, it's phones, it's GoPros, lower end, you know, cameras and things like that. But I watch a lot of, you know, tech YouTube, camera YouTube. And, you know, these guys and gals have some of the highest quality stuff you've ever seen. I mean, look at like MKBHD. Now that's on the higher end. You know, he's got what, over 10 million subs. He's using like, to get really geeky here, like I think he's using like Red cameras. And I think he shoots in like 8K. So he can punch in like really good without losing quality, which is amazing. And because I watch his videos on my TV, I notice that quality. Now, I didn't know it was 8K until, you know, probably a few months ago when I saw some interview with him, but like, I noticed on the TV. But if I was watching on my phone, you're not going to notice a lot. Like, especially if you're watching on cellular, most mobile networks throttle like video anyway. It's like limited to 720, 1080. But sometimes when you watch somebody like MKBHD, you can see that crispiness. Or like, what's this? The Everyday Dad, Gary, his name is also Gary. And he reviews like Mac stuff or Apple products. And then he also reviews some other things as well, other different types of laptops and phones and whatnot. His quality is really, really crispy. I mean, that dude buys a camera like every freaking week, but it's really, really crispy. Tom Buck, one of my favorite YouTubers, he has this bright, vivid, bluish, you know, background in his room. He's using the Sony a7S III. His colors just really pop. It's high quality. When you watch it, you know it's high quality. That's the kind of look that I want. Now, for me, I'm still learning the whole aspect of, you know, how to properly expose the camera, ISO, you know, aperture, things of that nature. I don't have it 100% down, but I'd like to think that where I have it now is a pretty decent start, let's say. So what you guys are watching, so for those of you that don't know this, and maybe you're kind of like, well, that looks crispy or whatever, if you've noticed something when you watch my videos that I put on Gary and Larry's Edible Adventures, that's from a guy who's shooting that camera in manual mode. And I think the first like month that I had the camera, in the month of March and April, the end of March, early April, I was filming it in auto mode. And so, you know, the lighting was never consistent. Like you'd see like a cloud roll in and it'd get a little bit darker. So like when we do the cuts, one scene's like bright, one scene's a little bit darker and things of that nature. So what I did after I noticed this, after editing one of the videos, is that I started putting the camera in manual mode. And so from there, now, like I'm dialing all the settings in before I even hit record. So it's going to be the same lighting, the same aperture, the same ISO, the same everything. And I know I'm talking like super in depth for a lot of you, and I apologize, but I want to share it all here. And yeah, so I'm dialing all these settings in and I'm really trying to learn it. So what you're seeing right now is the product of a guy who is still pretty amateurish with his camera, still learning all the settings, but I like to think that, like, you know, a year from now, so like, you know, September 2022, let's see where I'm at then. That to me should be pretty interesting if you ask me, but got the video edited. I actually spent like a half an hour before I even started editing the video today, because I'm recording this just after I finish editing and uploading it. I actually spent a half an hour in front of my green screen taking stills for thumbnails. Now, I had a very specific idea for this thumbnail. It's basically me in front of a colorful background holding money. I think the original concept was I had the wallet and I'm pulling the money out of the wallet, but the wallet's black, so it didn't really stand out very good. And I'm wearing a black shirt. That's what I wear in every video. And so I just got rid of the wallet and I'm just holding up the money. And then it's like crossed out with an X. And the title is How to Eat Free on Your Birthday. So I had fun taking those stills. And I also took like some more generic ones as well so that I could go back later. Because so many times when I am trying to, you know, edit the video, I realize, shit, I don't have a thumbnail photo. And a lot of times it's very similar. It's like excited face, shocked face, happy face, you know. These are these kind of like standard YouTube thumbnails. The ones with us in it usually perform better than the ones that we've done in the past without us in it. So, you know, we just run with it. So I took a bunch of, you know, just generic poses in front of the green screen. And the reason why you use the green screen, for those that don't know, it makes it a lot easier to take it into Photoshop. I don't use Photoshop. I use Affinity Photo. Take it in there, cut it out, and then you can paste it on a background, and then it ends up looking pretty good. So that video is live now. Go check it out. Thank you guys so much for being here. I really, really, really appreciate it. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep now. So thanks for listening. I'll talk to you guys again very soon. Bye. You're not really still here, are you? That blows my mind that you're still here. Hey, so that means you really actually give a shit. You really care about this podcast, and I appreciate you. Thank you. If you have an Apple device, leave those reviews, folks. They mean a lot. They really go a long way. They help Apple tell people that this podcast is something. So if somehow you just kept this thing rolling and you're still here, that means you're somebody that listens to the whole podcast. And I love you for that. Leave a review if you can. Thank you for being here. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.